Member for Peace River South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to maybe start by acknowledging some youth that have just came in to watch the debate today, and I think that's very telling and very important to highlight that, because what we're discussing right now is a motion that was just put on the floor about scrapping the government's reckless decriminalization experiment. And where I want to go with this, first of all, is reminding people that drugs are not safe. What happened to the time when we used to talk about don't do drugs at all? Now, this government's mantra is it's okay to do drugs. Now, let me go to some of the commentary that I've heard today, first of all, of why I support why we need to end this reckless experiment. And I'm going to say, Mr. Speaker, it's going to be hard not to get emotional, and it's going to be hard not to get mad, because this government has utterly failed with this experiment on helping people in British Columbia. We have the highest amount of addictions in the province's history. We have the highest amount of deaths because of use of drugs in the provincial history. And one thing I will agree with some of the NDP members of, their commentary about we have to end stigma. That's one piece only. This government has failed to put in the supports to help people who are struggling with addictions. We see that day in and day out when people are coming into our office saying, I need help, and it's not there. In a moment of clarity, when they're having that moment saying, I need supports because I have an addiction to fentanyl or heroin or methamphetamine. The members from the NDP are saying, we want to support those people, but they failed. It's not there. When I have to tell somebody that comes into my office that is saying, I want to get off the streets, I want to get off drugs, and I have to say, I'll make some phone calls and try to help you, but I'm sorry, 7-8 weeks until I can find a detox bed for you, because there aren't enough in this province and this government hasn't made enough in this crisis. And within 48 hours, those people are back on the streets using drugs. We have failed them. Last week, I was at another funeral in my riding for a young boy who was in my office just a couple of weeks ago who was struggling. A beautiful young man. A musician that I knew, that I played music with, that I sang with for a long time over the last 10, 15 years. And he told me he was struggling, but he was doing better. But he needed more help. And I said, I'm really sorry, in the Peace region, there's nothing for you. And he goes, well, I know, I tried to go to Prince George, but I couldn't get in. And I said, well, we'll do everything we can. I gave him a hug. We went out and sang some songs together. We went to a karaoke night, shared a drink. He drank pop. I had a beer. 10 days later, he was dead, found in a basement of an overdose, because he was not able to get the supports that he needed. Now, every single one of us have had these stories. Maybe it's hit us personally with family members, friends. There's a reason why many of us on this side of the House have put this motion forward today and are speaking against it, because this government has not done what they said they would do. We never voted in favor of this. It never came to the floor to say, let's talk about decriminalization and support that. I've never been in favor of this, because I've seen what it does in my community. The chaos that we have on the streets, the people who are struggling with addictions that don't have hope. This government needs to put their money where their mouth is in the sense of actually helping people. Don't talk about just getting rid of stigma. Talk about supports and helping people. If this government truly wants to help people, I don't care, take credit for it. The BC United put a better as possible plan forward that would actually put supports to help people when they need help. But no, they'll just hear from NDP members of why they support this, even though other jurisdictions like Oregon have walked away and backed away from what they've done because they saw the failure. So once again, British Columbia is going to be the only jurisdiction. The government's going to keep their heads in the sand and not face reality that we're failing the people right now, failing the people that need help. So let's do that. Let's help these people. Thank you.
Thank you, Member